Okay, today we're going to try and clean up this old carbon steel knife. There's no name or anything on it. No idea what brand it is or how old it is. But it definitely needs some attention, that's for sure. And stuff. The wood's pretty well dried out, rough, feeling. Some blemishes on the blades, but overall, the blade's pretty good shape. I'd say somebody's already cleaned that blade up once, but we're going to do a little bit better. There is a little bit of a ridge up here at the top where somebody's beaten or hammered on it. You can feel it with your fingernail, so we'll remove that too. First thing we're going to do though is get the handle cleaned up. It's kind of oily feeling. You can tell it's dirty by looking at it. So very simple. We're just going to clean it with some 4/0 steel wool and a little rubbing alcohol, and just work it in real good. Clean it, scrub as much of that grease and grime and whatever you have on there off. Get it back down to bare wood pretty much. This vise has jaws made out of cocobolo wood so that it won't harm the knife when you tighten it down. Won't make any blemishes or scratches in the blade. Okay, that ought to do that. Just give it a few minutes to dry. Wipe it off a little bit. Some of the excess off there. Now when this dries, it will cause the grain in the wood to rise a little bit. So we'll sand it lightly. These old knives I don't like to sand too much on. I want to leave as much of the character with the knife as we can and still make it look nice. Okay, we'll give it just a few minutes for it to dry up and we'll come back in just a little bit. Okay, I think it has dried up a little bit now. It's pretty good. It doesn't feel too bad. I'm just going to smooth it up a little bit with some 220 and then we'll go a little finer on paper. I like a knife that feels good in your hand. No rough, sharp edges. Those dark rings and stuff around the rivets are worn in there. We'll just leave them for the time being. They're not going to hurt anything. Give a little character to the wood. couple sharp points right back there where the wood shrunk and the steel's sticking out. We'll take care of those here in just a minute. Let's see if we can find a little finer paper here. 600, there's a piece of 400. Let's do a piece of 600. That'll be fine for this old knife. Depending on how high you want to polish the blade, is the higher up in grits you go. This is just wet and dry sandpaper, but it'll be fine. We're doing what we're doing today. You can get a bunch of this cut up. Right there's a sharp point on each one of these ends here, so let's take care of that real quick. A different belt. Okay, handle's a lot smoother, no sharp points. Feels nice and smooth in your hand. Just a little dull looking now. So we'll come over here, the buffer. And change the wheels. I use a different wheel for every compound. That's a clean wheel. This one has brown written on it. That's for the brown compound, which is the one that works good for polishing wood. Apply a little compound lightly. Not too much. Now you can see that wood starting to come back to life. It's getting a nice smooth finish on it. Still retains the old character marks though, since it's so nice. There's the wipe. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back from the phone call. Okay, that was with the brown compound, and that handle's looking a lot better already. We're going to hit it with the other wheel here with a little bit of the white, and just give it the finishing touch. Just a nice light buff on that. Don't have to press hard at all. Going with the grain of the wood. That's really feeling nice compared to where it did when I first picked it up a little bit ago. Feels good in the hand. Okay, now we'll put a little carnauba wax on it. I just use some Mother's. Get it at any auto parts store, Walmart. Let that sit for just a minute and change the wheel back to a clean wheel. These are a loose, real loose buff, real soft. Also do is help put a little more shine on it. Okay, I'm going to wipe some of that wax. Nice and sticky feeling now, so we're going to wipe some of that off by hand before I take it to the wheel, just to keep the wheel from getting built up and keep that one as clean as long as we can. And you can do a couple, 2 or 3 coats of this if you like. I'll probably just do this one on here now for this video. Okay, that's looking a whole lot better than what it did. Actually got a nice shine to it, feels nice and smooth. Looks old, but feels like a new knife. Man, feels like a knife should. So now we'll get on to cleaning this blade up a little bit. If you're polishing these blades, always wear a set of heavy gloves. Some people say don't wear gloves so you can feel the heat. If you've had one slip on you, like I have, you know you want to wear gloves. Now this first one we're going to use a little fast cutting compound. It'll cut right through any stuff that's on there and bring back a little bit of a shine to it. One spot right there where there's some rust, otherwise that blade would have been in real nice shape. But just another character mark. It is getting lesser and lesser though, real fast. About as good as that's going to get. You always want to stay on the lower part of your wheel when doing this, in case he grabs the knife from you. It's going to throw it away from you and not towards you. Having one of these fly at you at about 400 miles an hour is not a good thing. There's that side. Wipe it off a little bit. You can see what it really did. That side compared to the old side. Quite a bit cleaner. That side's in really nice shape, actually. One little dark spot right there. And the rest is out of it. Just a pit. Okay, now we'll switch over to the other wheel on the other side of the grinder. Use a little bit of green compound on it. And this wheel's a little softer, so it'll grab the knife a little easier if you catch an edge or whatever. And make sure you have a firm grip on it and make sure it doesn't get away from you. Like that. If I hadn't had a firm grip, it would have been going places real fast. It does happen. That looks pretty good compared to what it did. We're going to put a little white polish on. Same one we used on the handle on the last one, just give it a little finishing touch. You can see the reflection is just right in there. There's a kind of a sharp ridge where somebody's pounded on that thing a little bit. So I'm going to take that off very carefully. I don't like a sharp edge on the top part of a knife though, that's for sure. Did leave a little toothiness up there. I think we'll polish that out one more time, just on that top edge real fast. Okay, that's about it for cleaning and polishing it. It'll be ready for sharpening next. We'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, we're going to go ahead and sharpen this old knife up now. It's pretty nice shape compared to what it was. And stuff, it's fairly dull. Not much better than a table knife. What we have to do, we have to work this edge and stuff until you get a fine wire edge called a burr on it. I'm hoping I can show it to you in this video. I'm not sure. Hopefully it'll show up. So we're going to start off with an 80 grit belt to start with. Pretty heavy belt, but this blade is really dull. So it's going to take a little bit. Adjust the tracking, get in the center of the pulley. Pressure, just light pressure against the belt. And you see that burr, I don't know if you can see it in the camera or not. It's just starting right there. And a little bit on that tip. You want that burr to run all the way down the edge of the knife. Now that burr's just about there. I don't know if you can see it in the lens here or not. You can see in the camera just about there. You got just a little bit right in there. It's a little light. So we'll do a few more passes. It's going to take a number of passes across each side of the blade. I can see what's there now. And you can see in there. Now we're going to try this on this video. It's the first time I've done it. So you can see that fine wire edge right in. Anyway, real good with the magnifying light. You can kind of see it if you hold it just right in the light. It'll reflect that light and you can see that edge. So once that burr is there, now it's possible to get a truly sharp edge on this knife. So we're going to go ahead now. The next belt is a 3M Trizac belt. It's an 80 micron belt, about the same as 240 grit. These belts are actually pretty worn, so it's probably a lot finer than that. I'll do like 5, 6 passes on each side. All this is doing is that burr is making it smaller and smaller and smaller. That's an 80 micron. This next one's a 45 micron. Do the same thing again. Just nice, light pressure so it contacts the belt evenly, so you don't have to press hard. Another fine wire burr running all the way down the edge. You can see in the reflection. It's just going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. The next belt's a 30 micron belt. And the next one is a 16 micron belt. And that burr is just getting finer and finer and finer. Last belt, this is a 6 micron belt. And this one we're going to alternate sides on every stroke. Just work that fine little burr back and forth. Back and forth. Now there's not much left of that burr. You can still see it there a little bit. It's really fine and stuff. So what we're going to do now is take that burr off using a leather belt, or like a leather strap like the barbers used to use. I like to say this is like a barber strap on steroids. I put the belt on there, spin it up, and put a little green polish on there. Now we're going to work it until that is completely gone. still a little bit of a burr down there. I'm going to keep going a little bit more. And it appears to be gone now. Let's see what it does. It looks fairly good now, I'd say. See how it works.